Here.
Jay Piercy.
Here.
Philip Humbard.
Here.
Lawrence Shackelford.
Here, we have a
Full house.
quorum, so I'll call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our October 31st Halloween meeting. If anybody has any changes, modifications, or revisions that need to be made to those minutes that have been distributed previously. If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the October 31st meeting.
I'll
minutes.
second that motion.
We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next up is the approval of tonight's agenda for the December 5th meeting. We have no, they're all on the planning board. We don't have a Board of Adjustments meeting. So we have a conditional use permit for anytime hauling storage, and then land development hearings for Jenny Waters minor subdivision, and a replat of Lot 13 of A Tony Mountain subdivision. Any change to the agenda?
No,
today?
sir.
Okay, anything else that we need to address?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll move on. First item tonight is, as I mentioned, the anytime hauling storage. This is a conditional use permit. We'll start with staff report, please.
All right, this is our vicinity map, the site map, and the neighbors that were notified. The applicant is requesting a new conditional use permit to replace their previously approved conditional use permit approved by the planning board on July 17th of 2023 and ratified by the Quorum Court on October 21st, 2023. The new CUP is for the parking and storage of vehicles, boats, campers, RVs, and trailers on a 1-acre parcel. To date, planning staff has not received any complaints about the project. A 20-foot by 20-foot storage shed will be placed on the property. 0.75 acres will be gravelled and fenced for parking storage, which will accommodate approximately 50 to 75 spaces. 0.2 acres will be gravelled outside of the fence area for the storage shed. 0.95 acres will be used in total. The business will have 2 permanent employees, and hours of operation will be by appointment Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then we've got our planning conditions.
Okay? Any questions from board members of staff? Okay, is the applicant or applicant's representative here? Hi, if you would please come to the mic. Give us your name and address for the record. Probably the best place would start would be what's changed since we last previously approved this.
Okay, my name is.
You need to hit a button. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Just
Okay.
the right one. Yes.
There you go.
Good.
Okay, my name is Jamila Knowles, and I live at 3598 Bueno, Springdale, Arkansas. This project is in Summers, Arkansas. Really, the only thing that has changed is the area that we're going to be graveling off. Other than that, and the location of the storage shed. It was originally inside the fence. It's now outside the fence for easier access.
Okay. All right. Any questions of the applicant from board? Okay. Seeing none.
Wait a second.
I'm sorry.
Is there something there now? I mean, the pictures just show an empty lot. Is that?
Right now, we've gotten the fence that was previously approved already back up.
Okay.
They're working on the electrical poles. I'm not sure if they're done yet, but they were out there working on them this past week. Right now, that's really all that's been done to the property.
Okay, and so this
That's-
is, I must have missed this meeting. What, it's an RV storage is all it is?
It's pretty much, yeah, it's just a parking space
There's parking space?
for
Okay.
RVs, campers, trailers.
Is
Yeah.
there time limits that people can park there? Is it, or you can leave it there for as long as you want to, or what?
Well, it's a monthly rental, so,
Yeah,
they can park there and keep their storage there as long as they're paying the rental fees.
well, where I'm coming from, the board, it seems like every time we get into one of these, we end up with an eyesore. And is there, what kind of fence is around it?
The fences around it is the one that was previously requested. It's a
Yeah.
6-foot fence, and it's
Okay.
got the screening around it.
Yeah, so we requested, like, they have, like, the chicken wire, like, with, like, slats or, like, opaque,
Okay.
so nobody would see it, and that was the request also, like, from the JP of the area. And this project, as we mentioned previously, was supposed to be for, like, hauling material and, like, leaving them, like, on the site until they, it's not a transfer station, it's like semi-transfer station, so they leave and move it somewhere else. That's why they're back, because they changed the scope of the project, but the CUP is actually already there.
I didn't know if we had enough,
And I think they had a picture of the fencing that was up.
yeah, I think you did. It just has, it's been we've approved some lots, different places in the county, and they seem like they just grow, and we don't have any control over what's going on, and I didn't know if we had any.
Well, if there's one thing I can say about the owner, is he's meticulous about being clean and well-maintained. He's a truck driver, and believe me, he keeps his own appearance perfection.
We approved one place, and it was supposed to be just transitory. They're gonna have it there, cars there 2 or 3 days, and now you go by there and it's a full-blown junkyard that they're doing salvage work and everything else out of it, and it just,
We don't plan on it being a junkyard.
Okay,
We
okay.
plan on it being a storage facility.
I'll complain the next one. How about that?
I need to mention, like, one thing, that this project went through, like, the whole, like, technical review again, and it took them, they applied maybe, was it like August or July? And it took them that long to make sure, like, everything is approved by the health department again and by our engineer again. So it took them like 3 months, so this went,
Okay,
like, through the whole tech review again.
That's fine,
And all the neighbors seem to be okay with it. Our lot seems to be a lot nicer than some of the ones around us.
oh, good,
The
thank
one
you.
across the street?
That one and the one behind us.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Is
You're
there
welcome.
anybody in the public, okay,
I've got
I'm
a
sorry, go ahead, yes.
I was gonna say, it's more of a process question, but you said you're gonna build a building, a small building, a shed,
No, it's already built. It's one of those,
Ready built.
Dirksen.
but there's not gonna be, any facilities, restrooms, sinks.
no, we're not
Water
gonna be there
service,
for that
electric, stuff
length of
like that.
time.
And nobody's living in it, like, nobody's staying
And
on the
if,
property.
if at some point in the future, they wanna put an office in there and have somebody full-time, that will come back, is that the
Yes, if we
process
ever decide
for
that we need a septic.
and all that?
Any changes, like, it has to,
Okay.
it's,
I mean,
yeah,
it's back here before you today, basically, because the building moved outside the fence.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
But this was fully vetted and approved by both planning board and ratified by quorum court.
yeah. And it has to go through the process again because of the change of the scope of the project.
Action, yeah.
Minor changes, but changes.
Well, and I appreciate you bringing it back and following procedure and not just building it and hoping nobody caught it, so thank you for that
One
as
other
well.
procedural question for Sam.
Yes, sir.
What is this considered as future development? Is it gonna be, would this be a commercial?
I mean, everything we do is gonna be like zoned as for like commercial use. Once they get like their ordinance, it's gonna be for commercial use for this purpose. If they change by any chance that like use, they have to come back again and in case of that project, by the worst case scenario tanked, and it's not gonna be used anymore, that is gonna go revert back to a single family residential. on
But
Hempstead.
where I'm going with that, Sam, is that if this happened after the proposed zoning ordinance, she would have to get this rezoned to do that.
No, it's already like zoned, like anything that's already zoned before.
No,
it's
that's
like-
not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is if we'd never seen her before and they passed this zoning ordinance and then she tried to get this to happen, that would require rezoning.
Yeah, she's gonna apply for the same, basically, it's a CUP reverse, so she has to apply for rezoning, and she has to abide by like
The court would have to rezone it.
it's the same process, it's the same as the CUP. Right now, this is what we do, the CUP is rezoning.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so
But
that's
would
exactly
that
what
be called
she's,
spot zoning?
it's not.
Well, there's no zoning yet.
Right, but in that case, in the future,
Yeah.
Depends on what it was zoned. It'd be zoned something.
Okay, all right, thank you, ma'am. Is there
Thank you.
anybody in the public that would like to address this item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
I'll make a motion that it be approved as applied for.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, moving on, land development hearings. First item is in the county, item B, Jenny Waters minor subdivision. We'll start with staff report, please.
This is our vicinity map, the site map, and the neighbors that were notified. The applicant is requesting a minor subdivision approval to split a 4.15 acre parcel into 2 tracts. Tract 1 would be 1.65 acres in size, and Tract 2 would be 2.49 acres in size. To date, planning staff has not received any complaints about the project. Then we've got our standard conditions.
Okay. All right, so so lot 1 has road access and lot 2 has an ingress egress dedicated easement, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm trying to blow this up. Is the ingress egress, is it labeled as a utility easement as well, or just an ingress or an access easement?
It's always utility access easement, both of them, so they apply for both of them. And our ordinance says if a lot doesn't have a road frontage, an access easement serves only 2 lots, and that's what's happening.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any other questions of staff from board members? Okay, it's an applicant representative. If you would please state your name and address. For the record, tell us a little bit about your project.
My name is Scott Rosenkind. I'm the original, myself and the credit union are the owners of 4.16 acres of, the address is 12760 Patton Road, and that's in Washington County, West Fork. The purpose of this is just to subdivide my neighbor who has is interested in buying the lower part of this property. It's actually 2 levels. Lower part is closer to next to the road, Patton Road, and the upper level is the one that I'm staying on. And that's where that is the property that I'm keeping. That is a 2.46 acres.
Okay. All right. Any questions of the applicant from board?
It's the same question we get, why we're having this, because they're creating 2 lots less than 5 acres.
Okay. I wasn't gonna ask it tonight, Sam, but thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, and is there an existing structure on lot 1 now, is that correct?
There's nothing there, sir.
There's nothing, okay.
No.
Okay, gravel drives, but no structures.
Correct.
Okay. All right, any other questions of the applicant from board members? Thank you, sir. Is there anybody from the public that would like to make comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll close public comment and bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the Jenny Walker's minor subdivision as submitted.
Got a motion for approval, is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to Greenland Planning Area. Item C, the replat of Lot 13A Tony Mountain subdivision. Start with the staff report, please.
This is our vicinity map, the site map, and the neighbors that were notified. The applicant is requesting a replat to split a 2-acre tract into 2 1-acre parcels. The parcel is located in the Tony Mountain subdivision. To date, planning staff has not received any complaints about the project. And we've got our standard conditions approval.
Okay, so both lots have frontage. One lot has a structure we're splitting off. Okay. Any questions of staff from board members?
Do you know of any HOA or any covenants that were?
No, sir.
Nope.
Okay.
The surveyor, is here.
Okay, if you would, please, sir.
Tim West with Atlas Professional Land Surveying. I am here tonight on behalf of Black Diamond Holdings LLC. They currently own Lot 13A in Tony Mountain subdivision. they're proposing 2 residential 1-acre lots, which would become Lot 13A1 and Lot 13A2. Lot 13A1 does have an existing septic system, which is contained all on Lot 13A1. Lot 13A2 has had a soils analysis done, and it is suitable for a standard septic system. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
That was a primary question, so there has been a perk test done, and this 1 acre will serve for the proposed septic.
Correct.
Okay. All right, any other questions of the applicant from board?
Any covenants that prohibit?
No covenants.
No
that I'm
covenants at
aware
all?
of.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll close it and bring it back to board.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the replat of Lot 13A, Tony Mountain subdivision as submitted.
Got a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on. Item 5, other business. Discussion of current development and planning department activities. Sam, I'll kick that to you, sir.
Yes, we are still working with the quorum court on the new planning and zoning ordinance, and it's been postponed until the next meeting, scheduled meeting. I don't know exactly when. So the next meeting is going to pick up on February 2025, and I guess we're going to have new quorum court members. So we'll see what's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, I know for sure that Miss Lisa Miller is, her commission expires by the end of this month, and as well as Mr. Philip Humbard. And as much as I hate to see you guys leaving, I guess that's part of the process. So, absolutely, we truly appreciate everything you've done. It's, yeah, I mean, thanks for the friendship as well. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys very much. You were both here when I got here, and I've learned a lot from both of you. I appreciate you putting up with me, and appreciate your service, so thank you. Appreciate it.
And we do have one new appointment, Mr. Chantel, Miss Chantel per year. She's going to join us. I'm not sure when, because she's going to be out of town for the first time, for the first meeting of next year, which is going to be January 9th. So we might call one of you just to have quorum. We'll let you know.
Sounds good. So the
Yeah,
next
and
next scheduled meeting is January the 9th, 2025. This shows 24.
Oh, yeah, we'll
We
fix that.
assume that's 25. Okay. Anything else for the good of the order?
We're good to go.
Okay.
Kim, Sam, will you bring up that Jenny Waters subdivision?
This one?
The location map? Oh, I just wanted to ask a question, okay.
You turn your mic on. You mind?
The one before that. One before that. That one, nope, there. Down
Yes.
one, nope, down one.
Item B.
That one right there.
Yes.
Okay, now, I'm trying to make sure I understand correctly that if the zoning ordinance passes, we're in the future now, and it's passed, that this owner of this land would need to go to the quorum court and have that parcel rezoned, if it's zoned ag, assuming it's a zoned ag now, they would have to have that parcel rezoned.
For?
To do what she wanted to do.
That's
You're
residential.
talking about the first item.
Yeah, the Jenny Waters one.
No,
Oh,
you're
that's
talking about
lot
the
split.
anytime
You're-
hauling storage.
You're right, okay, I stand corrected, but let's say that one. So that would have to be rezoned to commercial.
And that's exactly what we've done right now. We rezoned it as
Well, I'm not
commercial.
talking about now, I'm talking about in the
Okay,
future.
okay.
So it would, in the future, it would have to have been rezoned if she applied in the future.
Yeah, so what
If
we.
the ordinance is, I mean, we don't, if they're still only proposed, I don't know that we need to spend a lot of time debating proposed
Well, I'm not debating, I'm
ordinances
just,
at this point.
I need to understand what's,
Okay,
Well,
so
what's the
right
point of
now,
your question? What are you getting at, Joe? What's the question?
well, it was very clear in the future that.
The rezone would come first instead of coming at the end, which is what happens
Okay,
now.
okay,
So yes, the rezone would happen before it even came to you to look at. So before they even got to the point of submitting designs and schematics, the quorum court, in their legislative capacity, would determine whether or not that should be rezoned from a residential to a commercial.
Okay,
If they said
perfect.
yes, then it would come to you, and you all would do the same that you do
perfect.
now.
I understand that
Okay.
part. Okay, so on this, would this be construed if, in this particular case, as a spot rezone?
Well, that would depend. There are a lot of factors that go into spot zoning and what that means. And so it depends on what's going on around it and some other factors. So it's hard to say. You couldn't say right now whether or not that would be spot zoning
It
or
would
not.
also be a decision made by the functioning body that's an
quorum court.
elected official.
Right.
We're
Yes, and
commissioners.
I get that.
We serve at the, okay.
The map
I'm
as
trying to
presented to the
understand how
quorum
The
court,
practical application would be.
the map as presented to the quorum court, no, that would not be spot zoning. The map as requested by the JP, almost anything could possibly be spot zoning because he doesn't want any commercial in his district at all.
Yeah, I'm wondering
Right.
about those kinds
He,
of
well,
scenarios.
and that's what the quorum court's gonna have to take up and come to grips with, is whether or not they're gonna completely exclude, which brings up a whole nother legal issue in theory and argument
Yeah, I got
against
it.
that, so.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's complicated and I'm trying to understand it as best I can.
Sure.
But as our role as planning board, it will not affect anything. It will, the zoning will be left to the quorum court, who are the elected officials.
and look-
We'll look at the planning aspect after that would be decided upon at that level.
Have the parcels been identified?
Have what parcels been
The
identified,
parcels, the initial little map that we saw with all the red lines?
right?
Have the parcels been identified? Because I want to make sure that my property is not included in this.
That's very exciting.
well, it's
No, your
it's
property is
available
not
online.
included in this. Your property doesn't sit on a main thoroughfare. It's not within a certain area of an intersection, which is what the map looks like.
And there's no way somebody could come in at the last minute and slip my property in there?
The
if I
quorum court could do whatever they wanted to.
did- Okay.
Yeah, and that's,
Absolutely.
guys, I appreciate the conversation, but I think we're getting kind of outside of the bounds of the planning board. We're not elected officials.
Right.
It's the quorum court and the elected officials by the citizens of Washington County that will make the decision on zoning.
So
We
I
will
would need to be
continue to do our
speaking
job of
to the
planning
quorum
on it.
court
Yes,
is where I need to direct that question to? Thank you.
thank you. All right, anything else for the good of the order? Got a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks.
I don't see you running.